supple touch of your hand, and everything is right. The gentle way you look at me when we kiss goodnight. You've given me the freedom no other love has known, and now I thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. The countless ways you've touched my heart is more than I can say. The beauty that you've shown to me takes my breath away. A picture perfect painting, that's what our love is. And yes, I need you so, need you so. And now I know I found the masterpiece in you. The work of art is true, and I treasure you, my love. I found the masterpiece in you. The work of art is true, and I treasure you. Sometimes I wonder what I'd be had I not found you. A lost and lonely soul, this world could show me nothing new. But now my life's a canvas painted with your love, and it will always be, always be. And now I see the two of us together. Through time we'll never part. This fairy tale we're sharing is real inside our hearts. Let it be forever, never will it end. This promise I do make, heaven is ours today. And I found the masterpiece in you. The work of art is true, and I treasure you, my love.
Tell you that we have an appointment to find a new surrogate.
Laura? Hi.
Hi.
So sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries. I just got here. Oh,
Welcome, Mayor Collins.
Thank
We have your table right here for you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you.
The same house.
Obviously, he
not far down to paradise, at least it's not for me. And if the wind is right, you can sail away and find tranquility. Oh, the canvas can do miracles, just you wait and see. Believe me, it's not far to Never Never Land. Reason to pretend, and if the wind is right, you can find the joy of innocence again. Oh, the canvas can do miracles, Just you wait and see. Believe me. Sailing takes me away to where I've always heard it. Just a dream in the wind that carried me. Soon I will be free. Fantasy, it gets the best of me when I'm sailing. All caught up in the reverie. Every word is a symphony. Won't you believe me? Sailing takes me away to where I've always heard it.
Proposals focus on Native Americans. 80% of those surveyed say schools in the state should be required to adopt and teach curriculum on the history and culture of local Native American tribes. And 63% back providing tuition waivers to Native American residents of California who are admitted to the state's public colleges and universities. I got some insight from Chrissy Castro, the executive director of the California Native Vote Project. We'd love to talk about the results of that Berkeley IGS poll with you on teaching Native American curriculum. What's your reaction when you see those numbers?
I was very pleased to know that voters across age, across income, across geographic region, across political party support what we have been fighting for a very long time, which is to make sure that the curriculum in our public schools represents Native American people. We also see that nationally there is a research study that looks at K-12 curriculum, and close to 90% of school standards don't teach about Native Americans past the 1800s. 27 states make no mention of Native American peoples at all. And it's the project of settler colonialism to erase us, in essence, from history. And so we're really happy that Californians have declared that they actually want to counter that by making sure that students in the state understand about local tribes and Native peoples.
It's interesting to see those poll numbers because over the decades, poll after poll showed that many Americans are uninformed about our nation's history. How much of a role would you say that lack of knowledge or that ignorance about our nation's past really impacts the ability to address the issues facing our indigenous peoples?
It impacts it 100%. Anytime that we're working towards some type of policy change or community change, we can't start with just today. We always have to come in and do an Indian 101 and educate policymakers, educate anybody that we're working with on 500 years of history, oftentimes within the course of, 5 minutes to an hour in order to start strategizing. So it becomes very cumbersome. It's itself a microaggression as we, walk in the world. And I would also say that Hollywood and the misrepresentation of us in mainstream media, within sports, within K-12 curriculum, that is all connected to the erasure that our people have and continue to experience.
Yeah, I want to talk about that issue there with the cultural representation of various cultures, including indigenous cultures in Hollywood. I mean, pop culture can play a valuable role in raising cultural awareness of history. For example, Watchmen with the Tulsa Race Massacre, Miss Marvel with the partition of India and Pakistan. Now Killers of the Flower Moon is doing the same with the plight of the Osage Nation. As you say, there are some drawbacks, and also just from an awareness standpoint, there are some positives too. Just go deeper into how you see that trade-off and the sort of complicated nature, I suppose, of Hollywood's depictions of indigenous peoples, for instance.
Right. Well, on one hand, I feel very mixed about this, but on one hand, I'm very happy to see that Hollywood A-listers, directors, writers, producers, actors are telling the true story of what happened to the Osage people. And on the other hand, I have to feel like we can do better. We need to tell these stories from a Native American perspective. I wonder if this story was told from an Osage perspective, what would it be? What would that story be? And I also say that, the violence that's perpetrated in this story seems like it's the result of an individual, where we know as Native peoples and tribes all over the country that this type of violence was pervasive and systemic, and it was often at the hands of the U.S. federal government. And so to witness and watch these things is difficult as well, because these atrocities haven't stopped happening. We still have a huge epidemic and crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous peoples throughout the country and in California. So these are difficult issues to contend with that honestly our people still struggle with every day. These are experiences that we face in contemporary society, not just back with this one particular story.
Yeah, I mean, telling those stories it's important for various reasons, because you want to have, especially if there's authenticity around it, and the issues around authenticity are incredibly important as well. There's also the issue of representation. An Osage consultant on that film praised Martin Scorsese for working closely with the tribe, but talked about the need to have an Osage person tell the story. Just give us a sense of what Hollywood needs to do better to tell the stories of Native Americans, what you would like to see in terms of the storytellers themselves, or even the actors representing the culture.
Well, I have to uplift storytellers like Sterling Harjo, who, just wrapped one of my favorite series ever.
Hey, love. You say you need someone to be there for you, to love you all night long. It's kind of funny, but I don't think you have to look no further, because I'm right here, and I'm ready to do all the things your man would do. Tell me what kind of man would treat this woman so cold, treat you like you're nothing when you're worth more than gold. Girl, to me you're like a diamond. I love the way you shine. $100 million treasure. I'd give the world to make you mine. I'll put a string of pearls right in your hand. Make love on a beach of jet black sand. Outside in the rain, we can do it all night. I'll touch all the places he would not, and some he never knew would get you hot. Nothing is forbidden when we touch. Baby, I wanna do all of the things your man won't do. Every little, I'll do them for you. Oh, baby, I wanna do all of the things your man won't do. Every little thing, I'll do them for you. Yeah, I'll take you out on a night cruise on a yacht. Just can't lose, 'cause we got a lot to look forward to. 1, 2, what you gonna do? What good is a diamond nobody can see? I hear it got you on lockdown, but I got the master key. Yeah, I'll light 1,000 candles all around. Show me to the subway, I'll go down. Nothing can be sweeter than the sound of making love. Baby, when I start, I just can't stop. I'll love you from the bottom to the top. Nothing is forbidden when we touch, baby. Yeah, yeah. Things your man won't do. Every little, I'll do them for you. Ooh, I wanna do, yeah, things your man won't do. I'll do them for you. Yeah. And oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. I'll light 1,000 candles all around. Show me to the subway, I'll go down. Nothing can be sweeter than the sound of making love. Baby, when I start, I just can't stop. I'll love you from the bottom to the top. Nothing is forbidden when we touch. Ooh, yeah. I wanna do all of the things your man won't do. I'm gonna do them for you. Oh, baby, I wanna do all of the things your man won't do. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll do them for you. Ooh, I got a Jones in my bones for you. There ain't a damn thing that I won't do. I'll make your body cream with my sex machine. I won't stop until I hear your mother scream. I wanna do, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Ah, yeah, yeah. I'll do them for you. Wanna do, yeah, whoa, whoa. I'll do them for you. I wanna do it for you, baby.
even care about your son.
Don't mention my son.
No, I mean it. Just don't tell son.
Unbelievable.
Who's that?
Somebody who's supposed to be in prison.
Hi.
Today I saw somebody who looked just like you. She walked like you do. I thought it was you. As she turned the corner, I called out your name. I felt so ashamed when it wasn't you. Wasn't you? You are everything, and everything is you. You are everything, and everything is you. You are everything, and everything is you.
Parents and caregivers who want to help teens establish good sleep habits. So essential. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
So you helped spark the law here in California, the first in the nation requiring healthy school start times. You think this is a critical game changer for our kids. Why must we make sleep such a priority?
Oh, absolutely. Well, as you were mentioning earlier, our teens are sleep deprived, and that has such wide-ranging ramifications. And one of the key pieces that cut into effect July of 2022. And as of now, we are still the only state in the country with the law in effect that does that. So that is a critical piece. But as you mentioned, what happens at night at home also really plays into it, things like tech use.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a 17-year-old and she's always on that phone, and that's got to impact your sleep and your, quieting down to get to sleep. Talk to us about the use of social media and what parents can do to limit that with screen time with their kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tech is a complicated topic because it's social media, but it's also what they have to be doing in order to do homework. I mean, they're online doing their assignments, turning them in. So it's sort of the same way we used to be on the phone, when we were in high school. So it's not that tech is universally bad. However, if you are on tech too long and it is cutting into your sleep time and you're doing it right before bed, that is when it does start to become an issue. And in fact, the recommendations are to get off of your devices 1 hour before bedtime. So that is, again, harder to do necessarily than it sounds, but that is the goal to be working toward.
What is the recommended sleep time for kids, and what happens if they don't get enough sleep? What are the ramifications?
So our teens up until age 18 should be getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single night, which is more than many people think. Because you hear 8 hours, you think, oh, that's the magic number. And that's great for us as adults. But for our teens, that's the minimum they should be getting. So keeping that in mind, the other key piece is that during adolescence, their entire sleep schedule shifts. So it's not like you can just say, oh, we'll go to bed at 9 o'clock, because they're not feeling sleepy. Their entire sleep schedule shifts later, so they're not feeling sleepy until about 11 o'clock at night. And then, of course, we know, given everything else they have going on, they're not even necessarily getting into bed at that hour either.
And talk to us about how obvious, it seems obvious, we all know it, but yet we have to hear it. How does sleep deprivation impact our kids' ability to learn in school, and how does it impact their mental health?
Oh, absolutely. Being sleep deprived has ramifications across the board. What I like to remind people is there's not one single thing that we do better as a result of being sleep deprived. And when it comes to our teens, as you mentioned, it impacts everything. When it lowers the barrier for risky behaviors, which includes everything from substance use to drowsy driving. And then, of course, mental health, such a big one. When you are sleep deprived, it exacerbates mental health issues. Everything feels more difficult when you're sleep deprived, and it does exacerbate symptoms of depression, anxiety, even suicidality.
Oh, absolutely. So what's your advice in the book for parents? How can we help our kids take away those phones, those tablets, to help them get a better night's sleep? Biggest tips.
Yeah, it's so tricky. So the first is overarching is make sleep a family priority. So when it comes to tech, for instance, set some household tech rules. So things like turning off your devices an hour before bedtime, ideally charging the devices in a central location like the kitchen, getting them out of the bedrooms, but making sure that we as parents are doing that too, so that we are setting a good example. And then also recognizing when you're talking about teens that you can't just come in and unilaterally make a decision and expect that that's going to go over really well. So it's often an ongoing discussion, and it's being collaborative. It's asking your teens about their sleep, asking them even to buy in by perhaps considering, well, hey, how about if you move your phone from right next to your bed to across the room? See how that goes. And sort of getting them involved in the process and recognizing, especially with teens, that it is a process. And that when we are well slept and our teens are well slept, everything is going to go that much more smoothly.
And do you in the book recommend any winding down techniques, like you could listen to your Alexa's play sounds of the ocean or music to help calm you down? Or do you have any of those kinds of recommendations?
Absolutely. Great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because instead of being on your devices up until the second you turn off the light or even afterwards, substituting some sort of a wind down routine. So it's a series of steps that help you make that transition to bedtime. And so, yes, it can be listening to music. It can be reading a book. It can be taking a bath. It can be meditating, stretching, coloring. Something, some people really find those coloring books very, very relaxing. But something that is helping you kind of separate from all, as adults, our work concerns, kids, they're being involved with all their homework and all the social things that they're doing online, trying to disconnect from that and having a bridge into bedtime.
Yes.
So that wind down routine, absolutely so important.
So essential. Quiet the mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know those minds of those teens. Well, listen, The Sleep Deprived Teen is available in bookstores and online. Incredible recommendations. Lisa Lewis, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and hope you'll come back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pizza party feeling stale? But wait, there's Marco's! Refresh the routine with Marco's new Margarita Magnifico. Fresh mozzarella, sliced Roma tomatoes.
There was a time in my life when I opened my eyes and there you were. You were more than a dream. I could reach out and touch you, girl. That was long ago. There are some things that I guess I never know.
Navigating such a complex system to be looking out for these children.
And Senator, what other bills are in the works right now surrounding sex trafficking?
Another one that I think is critically important is my SB 14, which I've co-authored with my colleague Senator Shannon Grove. And this is a little sensitive, but right now in the state of California, sex trafficking a minor is not considered a serious offense. So I'm trying to ensure that when a child becomes a victim of sex trafficking, that the adults are held accountable. So this will now redefine that offense as a serious offense in the state of California.
And is there some action or support that communities can start providing more of for the victims of sex trafficking, whether it's reporting things that they might see on the street, or if there's a neighbor that they're concerned about?
There's a lot that we all can do, a lot that we can all do to help these children and adults. What happens sometimes, we tend to see things and we don't stop to inquire. I personally had not seen as much sex trafficking until I started doing this type of work. And then you get into the weeds and you start going to communities and talking to police and community organizations. And then you find that there are some, sex trafficking activities going on in your backyard, which is really shocking to me in terms of the communities that I represent. And so I think that all of us could be a lot more vigilant. I think if you see something that doesn't seem right, stop to ask, stop to inquire, or call the police to ensure that they're investigating. We've heard a lot of cases of children that go missing for years, and then when they're found, the neighbors always say that they saw something strange, they figured something wasn't quite right. But we tend to just keep those thoughts to ourselves, and it's important that all of us are looking out and making sure that we're pushing forward in terms of providing services and speaking up when we see something inappropriate.
Senator Rubio, thanks so much for joining me today on In Focus SoCal and talking about these really important issues.
Thank you so much.